And
you have a lot of guys coming off of ACLs.
Yeah, I guess a lot of running backs tear their ACLs.
All right.
Yeah, I actually researching this. A lot of them have torn their ACLs. So I guess that's just the thing that happens. So he's gonna get nothing but better since he was last year.
And he didn't tear his ACL.
Well, he did break his ankle, but he didn't tear his ACL. Okay. So that's good. Good for him.
This is former Chicago Bear Desmond Clark. And y'all hear me on many podcasts, but when y'all hear me on Pick'em Pros, y'all know it's all about family. This ain't just business.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. You know who it is. I am Derek Thompson.
And I'm Diego Thompson.
And who are we?
We're Pick'em Pros.
We are the Pick'em Pros coming back at you in the house with episode 53 of Who You Got. Man, it is time to get into our top 15 running backs. We just did 30 through 16, so check that out. Hopefully you're coming from watching 30 through 16 and now you're gonna hear the top 15. If you haven't seen that, go ahead and stop, go back and check out 30 through 16 and then come right back. We'll be here waiting on you. All right, but I got my son here, 13 years old, has been doing fantasy for 4 years now. So started him young, has got a lot of knowledge and put this list together. So check us out, subscribe, and make sure you turn notifications on. Check out all of our shows. We are doing finishing up running backs now. We've got quarterbacks next. We've got tight ends. Then we'll be picking all the division winners, who's going to go to the playoffs, who's going to go to the Super Bowl, and then picking every single game throughout the season with our guy Desmond Clark, former tight end of the Chicago Bears. So a lot of fun stuff. It's football time. Ready for football?
I'm ready. Ready for football.
Ready for football. But we do have a special bonus show because, we talk about basketball. Kind of wait until it gets All-Star break and then going into the playoffs is when we really dive into NBA, I should say. We cover March Madness. But we do have a special guest joining us. We're actually going to be recording with him tomorrow, so that's going to be coming out in a few days. We have Gary Clark, who is from Clayton, North Carolina. Our town where we reside. He came from Clayton High School, made it to the NBA, played 4 years of pro ball, is about to play in Australia, and may probably end up back in the NBA, hopefully, around All-Star break this upcoming season. So we're going to talk to him about his journey, how he trains, just you have some really good insight for all the, folks out there that want to know what it takes to, grind and get, into the league. He's a great person to talk to, so we're really excited to have him. So shout out to Gary Clark. Check that out as that comes available. All right. Well, let's get into these top 15 running backs again. You've got to have backs. So, with football, we know receivers have been a premium. Receivers are key. We already gave you our top 30 receivers. Check that out if you haven't seen that already. But you have to have backs. You got to have backs. You got to fill out your roster. And the backs, there's a lot of parity. So it's hard to find the backs. And you've got to not only draft good backs, but then you're also going to have to pick up some guys because it's an attrition game. People are going to get hurt. So running back is key. And in order to win, you have to have solid backs one way or another. So let's give them this good insight, man. All right, so let me give you my 15 through 1. Number 15, I have Jahmyr Gibbs from the Detroit Lions, rookie back. Detroit's going to run the ball. They have a solid offense. They put up a lot of points. There's going to be a lot of opportunities. So I love players on offenses that score a lot. So love that. So he would be a great pickup. I think people have him a lot higher than 15.
They're high on the rookie class.
They're high. They're really high on them. So I get it because there's always a rookie that comes in and plays well. The only thing is those rookies that come in, they start hot. They normally don't sustain it for the entire season. So that's the only thing. So that's why I don't have him as top 10. I have him as a 15. So, if you can get him, draft him, run them that first half of the year, but you need to be prepared and you probably want to go ahead and have a backup. This is one that you want to so-called handcuff. So if you're going to have Jahmyr Gibbs, you want to go ahead and get Montgomery and make sure you have his backup. And then you just have the entire Detroit Lion running team. That's a great way to approach it. That's how, like with the Dolphins last year, I really wanted Mostert because when he plays, he's a beast. So I went ahead and got the starter as well. And then that way, I just had the Miami running game, and I knew Miami was going to score a lot throughout the season.
Yeah, then I think you did this with McCaffrey when he was in Carolina. You got McCaffrey, and then you drafted Chuba behind him.
Yes. So if there's a guy that has a bit of an injury history, go ahead and take one of those mid-round picks and go ahead and get his backup. That's super important with the running game, and then you don't have to worry about it as much. So for Jahmyr Gibbs, you're going to get him. You definitely want to have Montgomery. All right, number 14. This is probably going to be the same situation. I have Breece Hall of the Jets, okay, as number 14. Now we know that Cook may be coming in. We'll see where he signs. But he's running around, and I think you were going to mention Cook.
I got to mention, so Dalvin Cook, I know he's a free agent right now. High possibility he might sign with the Jets. But if he does indeed go to the Jets, I would have him at number 8 behind Miles Sanders.
Okay. All right. Interesting there. So we'll see. He's talking to the Jets. Here he's talking to the Patriots maybe. I don't know if that's just that's a rumor. Just a way to get the Jets. I know
Ezekiel Elliott's going to talk to the Patriots.
Okay. All right, we'll see about that. So, so I've got Breece Hall at number 14 for the Jets. Some people have him again even higher. But I'd be leery, coming off the ACL. And then with the Jets, what are they going to do? People think they're going to go to the Super Bowl, do very, very well. But and then if they get cooked, that's going to take touches away. So I've got him at 14. Number 13, even though he's a free agent, we don't know where he's going to sign. I'm sure we'll know by draft time. That may move him up or down. I have Dalvin Cook because I feel that no matter where he lands, he is probably top 10 back, but I've got him at 13 here on my list. So if he's with the Jets, that'll be interesting to see how that impacts Breece Hall's ranking. So we may have to adjust that there. All right, number 12, I have Aaron Jones of the Green Bay Packers. Starting back, on the team, they've got young, talented, speedy receivers. So you can't really stack the box against them. We know that Jordan Love, how strong is he going to be? He's going to have to rely on that running game. They have a 2-back system. They have a really good backup back in AJ. So Aaron Jones should stay healthy. They won't wear him out, but he'll have his opportunities to do his thing. So he's a good pickup. And he's a guy that and he's also a guy that might be able to get Aaron Jones in the 3rd round. Maybe. So if you can, that'll be good because receivers are going to go a lot quicker this year in most leagues. So you're going to have some good backs that are still there, 3rd, 4th, 5th round. You're still going to have some good options there. So I have Aaron Jones at number 12. Number 11, I'm going to have to get your help on this pronunciation, man. Jackson Jaguars. Travis
Etienne Jr.
Etienne Jr. There you go, my man. Travis Etienne Jr. He is number 11. He's looking to have a big year. I've seen some comments from him that I like. Jaguars, their receiving core is coming together. We know the quarterback obviously is continuing to ascend. So that running back's going to have some holes. He's going to have some holes to run through. So he should have a good year. So he's knocking on the door of top 10. So that's I think going to be a really good pickup and somebody that when it's all said and done, I think he's probably going to maybe finish top 10 with fantasy running back points there. So would not be surprised because he's definitely going to have some holes to run through there. Number 10, let's get into the top 10. I've got your boy, Miles Sanders of the Carolina Panthers. No, that is not low. That's not low. He is a good back, and the Panthers, although it's interesting, they're not, you wouldn't say that they have a strong offensive line because the quarterbacks typically have to run for their lives sometime in the passing game. But running wise, their backs.
Our offensive, we're growing.
And you've added some depth to that. But it's funny, even in the bad years of the offensive line, they've always run the ball well. Now, a lot of that could go to the running backs because, you have McCaffrey. So a lot of that, I'm sure, is McCaffrey. But the running backs, the Carolina backs have always done well and fared well. For one, we run the ball a lot. So that's a good thing. Yep. And then two, their run blocking has definitely been much better than their pass blocking. So Miles Sanders coming in, and he's going to have something to prove, not being able to come to terms with the Eagles. I think he's going to be on a mission and have a good year. So I've got him number 10. Number 9, I have DeAndre Swift of the Philadelphia Eagles. Man, the Eagles, again, that's another one where you just plug in a back and they're going to do their thing. So he happens to be the starting back. So that, to me, automatically puts him in top 10. So the only concern is health. If he doesn't stay healthy, then, of course, that can impact him. But if he stays healthy, man, I don't see how he can, not do well behind that offensive line. So I think he's going to do well. So I have him number 9. Number 8, I have Tony Pollard of the Dallas Cowboys. Only reason I have him that low is because he's coming off the injury. So if he can, stay healthy, come in, start off right away, not start too slow. Looks like he's going to get the ball more. Can he carry the full load throughout the season? Can he be the feature back? He's always been secondary. Zeke took the majority of those carries. So, and the moment he started to get more carries, he had the big injury. So that's the concern there. Still have to put him in the top 10 because of his speed, because of what he's done in the past, because of the Cowboys offensive line, and also because the Cowboys are going to put up points. If they don't do anything else, they're going to put up points. So he's going to have opportunities. So we have to put him at 8. Number 7, we've got Saquon. I have Saquon Barkley of the Giants. I think you had him at 6. We have him roughly at the same spot. So should stay healthy. He's got a lot to prove. He's on the 1-year deal. Needs to stay healthy. With Saquon, it's all about health. Again, he has a lot of the home run runs that take away from a lot of the 1-yard, 2-yard runs. He has a lot of those, but he had a much better season this past season. So that puts him in the top 10. We know he's going to get the ball because they definitely have to run it. Yes. And he's going to be motivated to try to, work through it and, have a good season so he can come back and get the contract that he wants. So got him at number 7. Number 6, Josh Jacobs. Led the league in rushing, so certainly has the talent. I'm sure they're going to eventually come to some type of agreement. But again, that makes it less leery if, he gets his deal. It'd be interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back on a 1-year deal as well. And if he does, or if it's a franchise situation, then, I'd feel much better about what he would do. Yeah. If he gets a long-term deal, I'd be leery. I'd be leery because that just normally doesn't work out well. But again, leading rusher for the Raiders, he knows how to do it. So I've got him at number 6. Number 5, this feels low, but I don't know if I have a good feeling about how this could end up, at least for the beginning of the season. I have Jonathan Taylor of the Indianapolis Colts as my number 5. You could argue he should be number 1, but again, there's clearly issues there as far as his contract. We have, the owner making his comments about running backs and how, he doesn't really side with them or what they're saying in the media right now. So whereas in his starting running back is the poster of what's going on right now with running backs not being valued the way that they feel they should. So that's going to be a little bit of an issue. So, he clearly wants to get paid. So he's going to do, and even without that, he's just professional. Jonathan Taylor is going to do his thing.
Yeah,
I can't put him in my top 3 because of the lingering issues. Are they going to, in certain situations, when they would normally hand it to him to get a touchdown, are they going to pass it? You know what I mean? Is he going to get every single opportunity to be the guy?
They have the rookie quarterback. They drafted Richardson. So
so that's the only thing there. I can't put him top 3 because of the issues there with the team. I think he may have a few less touchdowns this year, than he would if everything was all good. Okay. Number 4, I have the guy that a lot of folks think should be number 1, Austin Eckler of the Chargers. Hey, solid back, can run, do all that. I just don't see number 1 like a lot of other people are saying. Like you said, he hadn't even gotten 1,000 yard season yet. Now you can say, hey, okay, this is a projection. Maybe people are then projecting he's going to take that step, but I just don't see it. I could see maybe if he was first, a second or third year running back, you can say, oh yeah, he's going to take the leap. He's showing all the signs, but he's been around for a while. So
about 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. So I just don't see now taking that leap to be the first one. I just don't see that. But I see him as top 5. So I have him as number 4 on my list. You have him as number 5. Number 3, I've got your guy, Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb, man, I can't say anything bad about Nick Chubb. He's one of my favorite backs. I used to be known for getting him every single year. I would have Nick Chubb, and then he just became too expensive, so to speak. You had to get him too high, and I just couldn't get him that high because I would take receivers earlier, and then he'd be gone by the time I could even think about getting him. So, and I know there's no chance I could get, because I have the number 1 pick in our draft this year. So we know our order. So we'll actually talk about that in a second. But so we know our draft order. So we're excited about that. Shout out to Commissioner Smitty for going ahead and setting that draft order early for us. So we're excited about that. So I could get Chubb. I can get everybody I want. But I don't think I can take it. Nah, because then all the other people that I want will be long gone by the time it comes back to me for being number 1. So I know I won't be able to have him. All right, number 2. I have your guy, Christian McCaffrey of the San Francisco 49ers. I have
why you say it all?
I just
on the San Francisco.
I'm just saying the team, just in case people don't know who he plays for.
They know the team.
He does not play for the Carolina Panthers anymore. He plays for the San Francisco.
We got 49ers. Miles Sanders.
Plays for the San Francisco 49ers. I love the fit. The way that they, their running schemes are second to none. So that's great having him there. They have a lot of other weapons. They got the great tight end in Little. They have Debo, so they have other weapons as well. So it's just the perfect mix for McCaffrey to stay healthy, but yet produce and do his thing. I wouldn't be mad him being number 1. Really, any of these top 3. I'm fine with any of those guys going number 1, so you can't go wrong with any of them. But Christian McCaffrey could have easily put him number 1, but I've got him at number 2. And then number 1, man, come on, got to give mad respect to Derrick Henry. First of all, his name's Derrick, so you can't go wrong with anybody. Spelled the right way, man. Thank you. Can't go wrong with him. Just a beast. Has done it year in, year out. Know he's going to get his carries. Has proven it. As far as staying healthy, he's been fairly healthy. He had the year before last, he missed. I think that was one of the first times he missed kind of his fair share of games. But even that year,
still got like 1,000
he
yards.
still almost got 1,000. So, he's just total beast. How could you go wrong with Derrick Henry, man? And his upside is, and that's the thing. So the reason I put him number 1 is, his upside, he just has that next gear that nobody else is getting to. So if he plays all 17 games, and if D-Hop makes a few more holes for the field on the field as the way that we think he may, man, come on. Who knows? He might have another 2,000 yard season. You don't know what he's going to have. So he just has that gear that these other guys are not going to get to. So that's why I've got Derrick Henry. Now, at some point, he's going to slow down. At some point, I think that's what people are anticipating and why they're putting him at 7.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't project that for this year. I wouldn't project that this year.
Maybe when he gets in like his 30s and that stuff, that's the time. But I think he's got a couple, like 2 or 3 more prime years in him.
Yes, for sure. So that's the list, man. So give us your 15 through 1.
All right, so number 15, I have Breece Hall of the New York Jets.
Okay.
I had a very promising rookie year last year. He started off strong, then unfortunately tore his ACL. But he's going to be back strong this year, and I think he will. And he might start off slow, maybe the first week or 2, but he's going to pick back up to speed and be one of the top backs in the game. So that's number 15.
Okay, all right.
And then number 14, I have Kenneth Walker III from the Seahawks. The Seahawks, they run well. They're a very good running team. And he was the top rookie back last year, I think. And, well, at least I think everyone thinks. But he had 1,000 yards and rushed really, really well last year for them. And I think he's going to be able to do that again next year. And then number 13, I got Alvin Kamara from the New Orleans Saints. He's a great receiving, dual threat running back. The only thing is that really injuries. That's the thing, because I don't remember the last time he's played a healthy year. So but he's got Jamal Williams there and to back him up. But so I think he's gonna maybe stay healthy a little longer. Try to get them.
That'll probably help.
And try to get them a playoff spot. And that's that. And then number 12, I have Joe Mixon from the Cincinnati Bengals.
Your guy. You had him last year.
Yeah, I had him last year. He was great for me last year. Puts up numbers. Running, and he scores his fair share of touchdowns. Towards the end of the week, he got like 5 touchdowns in a game for me, which is awesome. But so he's gonna get his touchdowns, get his yards. But the only thing is, when you have Joe Burrow as your quarterback and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins as receivers, you kind of want to, just air it out a lot. So I don't know if he's going to get as many touches as he used to. But I still think he's going to be a very useful back in fantasy. Joe Burrow's going to go to him when he needs to. So it's that. And then number 11, I got Travis Etienne Jr. from Jacksonville Jaguars. Last year was his first full year. It was actually his first year in the NFL. The year before he had a torn ACL, so he didn't play. But then last year was his rookie year, I should say, and he was like top 10 in rushing yards and scored a lot of touchdowns. And I think he's going to be able to duplicate that and do that again. So that's number 11. And
you have a lot of guys coming off of torn ACLs.
Yeah, I guess a lot of running backs tear their ACLs.
All right.
Yeah, I actually researching this, a lot of them have torn their ACLs. So I guess that's just the thing that happens. So number 10,
all right,
I got Najee Harris, who hasn't torn his ACL, from the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he's going into his 3rd year. They could possibly extend him after next year if he balls out. So I think he's gonna try and ball out to get that contract extension. So there's that. And then number 9, another guy that I had last year, Tony Pollard from the Dallas Cowboys. He was a great running back. He rushed for a lot of yards. Actually took Zeke's spot last year. Rushed for over 1,000. Got lots of touchdowns. Got a lot of receiving yards last year, and so he's a great dual threat running back. And since he doesn't have Zeke to back him up, I think he's gonna get more touches and as much touches as he's gotten in his career. So he's gonna get nothing but better since he was last year.
And he didn't tear his ACL.
Well, he did break his ankle, but he didn't tear his ACL.
Okay.
So that's good. Good for him.
Right.
And then number 8, I have Josh Jacobs from the Raiders.
Okay.
He led the NFL in rushing last year and got, I believe, 12 touchdowns. So I don't know if he's going to put up the same level of production because he's currently holding out a training camp. I don't know when he's gonna come back, but I think but according to the head coach, he said he's gonna come back soon. So so he might come back, and if he does, he's gonna be a solid because that's what he is. He's a really good back. And number 7, I have Miles Sanders from the Carolina Panthers. Yeah, my guy. Miles Sanders was a great running back last year.
Looks a little hot.
Really helped the Eagles go to the Super Bowl. He was 5th in rushing yards. Yeah, 5th. All NFL in rushing yards. Led the Eagles rushing. That was one of the best rushing teams in the NFL.
Okay.
Led them to the Super Bowl, and I think he's going to be able to put up close to the same level of production he did. But when you have a quarterback to the level of Bryce Young, he's going to air it out. So I can't have him top 5. So I'm sorry, I can't do it.
What level is Bryce Young? He hasn't even played yet. You don't know
I
what
just
level.
know. I saw him in college. He won every single award that a quarterback can win. He won a Heisman. He's absolutely amazing. So yeah. And then number 6, I have Saquon Barkley from the Giants. He was really good last year. Had the best year of his career actually. And great rushing, receiving, another dual threat running back. Scores a lot of touchdowns, and apparently he's like the heart and soul and everything that the Giants are that they have. So that's what. So the Giants wouldn't be anything without Saquon.
But they didn't want to pay him.
Yep, they didn't want to pay him.
Okay,
They paid Daniel Jones $40 million.
Okay, all
But
right.
we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
But yeah, and he's back at training camp and. I think he'll stay healthy. I don't know, but that's what all running backs. You just gotta hope and pray they don't get injured.
Gotta hope.
So
has he? And I'm not being funny with this. I know he's had a lot of injuries, but has he torn his ACL?
Yeah, he has.
Yeah. Okay. I know he's had a lot of injuries, but I couldn't remember if ACL was one of them.
Yeah, he did. It was like 2 or 3 years ago he tore his ACL.
Okay.
But number 5, I have Austin Eckler from the LA Chargers. A lot of people have him higher, like 2-1, but don't have him quite as high. Just because if you're gonna be the top running back, I need you to rush for 1,000 yards, and he hasn't done that yet.
Wow.
But he rushed for 900 yards last year, but I believe got 800 yards receiving.
Yeah.
So he kind of makes up for that, but a running back, you gotta rush for 1,000 yards if you're gonna be number 1.
And I've seen him at number 1 on the
So he rushed for 900 rushing yards and 800 receiving. He scored the one year I had him. He got 20 touchdowns in total. Be 12 rushing, 8 receiving. So he's really like a half and half, a dual threat running back. So he's a good running back, a lot of touchdowns. So I'd really love to have him on my team. And then number 4, I have Jonathan Taylor from the Colts. He every year, the first 2 years of his career, just were absolutely amazing.
Yes.
First year got 1,200 yards. Second year got 1,800 yards.
Yes. Ooh,
last year he was
crazy.
yeah, you had him. Yeah, it was crazy. But last year he was injured. I was trying to think I don't think he tore it, but yeah. I don't think he did. It was another injury.
At least not in the pros. I don't know what he's done in college.
Last he didn't. Right. He didn't. But he did get injured, and this year he's going into a contract year. And I know Jonathan Taylor. He just balls out regardless. But I think he's going to be healthy, and he hasn't really gotten injured on any other level, so he was just unlucky. So I think he's going to be back to himself and ball out like he does. And then number 3. I have Christian McCaffrey from I hate to say San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah. 49ers. Looks good in red, man. He's back in the area where he played college.
I know.
You went to Stanford.
It feels so weird to say that.
No, it doesn't feel weird.
Yes, it does. It feels weird.
Yeah.
It's all he did for Carolina. Okay. But yeah, so number 3, Christian McCaffrey. We all know what he can do. He runs for over 1,000 yards and receives Gets a ton of receiving yards. He actually 1 year, I don't know if you know, for the Carolina Panthers, he got 1,300 rushing yards and 1,000 receiving yards.
Yes.
And a ton of touchdowns. And he has been injured a little bit when he was with Carolina his last couple years, but I think for the Niners, behind that good offensive line, they got a chance to win a Super Bowl. So I think he's gonna be extra healthy.
He's gonna be.
He'll be fine, and then he'll just do what he does, run and receive. And the number 2, I got, of course, no surprise, Derrick Henry. He's always gonna be among the top. Super consistent. He was second,
Beast.
and just because. Josh Jacobs lost his mind last year, but he was second in rushing yards with 1,500. And then he had 12 touchdowns, I believe. So always he's going to be around that number, top running. So you can't go wrong with Derrick Henry.
Nah. What's the lowest you've seen him ranked?
I think I saw him like 6 or 7.
That's
on
ridiculous.
ESPN, he was 6.
That's ridiculous.
So, I mean,
who in the world? That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Anybody would put Derrick
and he's
Henry
still
there.
young. He's not old.
Yes.
He's still in his 20s.
Yes. He's gonna get attempts. Man,
they're gonna run the ball.
Yeah.
And then with Diop there, he's gonna. So they can't just stack all the linebackers all running on. You got to worry about Diop. So got him at 2. And number 1, another guy you can't go wrong with, Nick Chubb. He was third in rushing last year. With I think around 1,500. And I think this year he's without Kareem Hunt. So no one to take those 1 yard touchdown carries anymore. It's all gonna be Nick Chubb. He's gonna lead the show and just do what he does. He's been 1,000 yards, I think, 4 straight years. So we all know he's going to be consistent. So got Nick Chubb. Can't go wrong with him.
Yeah, I like that. That's a bold pick. I don't think anyone else is going to have Nick Chubb number 1, but I understand it. He used to be my guy. I mean, you used to be able to get Nick Chubb 3rd round, 4th round. You could get him then. You can't get him there anymore, but super consistent. One of my favorite backs in the league. So I like that. I don't have him as my number 1, but I like that. He's a strong back. You definitely can't go wrong. I mean, I feel like the top 3. See, do we have?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we have the same top 3. So yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with anybody in the top 3 that we're gonna give you. I don't think you can go wrong with that. All right, okay. So cool list there, man. So excited. So let's talk about our draft order real quick before we go. And we'll be coming at you next week with our quarterbacks. So that's cool. We're going to do top 20 quarterbacks. We'll do that in one episode. So we'll do our top 20 quarterbacks. We'll do that in one show. And then we'll do our top 20 tight ends. We'll do that in another show. But where are you picking this year?
I'm picking number 8 this year.
All right. You like that position?
Yeah, I love that pick because I get a top guy in number 8, and then I'm able to come back around with an early pick in the 2nd round to get another guy. So I like that position.
Yeah, that's a good position. I believe I had 8 last year, so that's a good position. You're able to get 2 guys quick, back to back, and then it's a while before you get number 3, but you're able to stack with 2 good people. So what do you think your strategy is going to be this year as you pick 8? Are you going receiver? You going receiver back? You taking quarterback? What do you think you're going to do at number 8?
I think I'm gonna go receiver.
Receiver. You're gonna take my strategy
because the running backs. I mean, the running backs are iffy. There's a lot going on around them, media and stuff. So I don't know, and I don't know if Derrick Henry and McCaffrey and Nick Chubb, if those guys aren't available, then I don't think I can. I don't know. I can take one. So
all right. Ooh.
That early.
So you'll go.
But if Kelsey is available and at the 8th pick, then I might have to take him.
Yeah, but then as you come back, then you'd probably go running back receiver if you had tight end receiver.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah. And that's where this running back list will be so important, because then you're gonna have to dig deep. So you have, if you don't get your first back until the third or fourth round, which may happen with me as well, then you're getting a back that's in that 12 to 30 range, and that's where you're having to go with those types of guys that are either backs that are on the team that's not as good but you think is going to get his opportunities, or more of your secondary backs. So that's going to be interesting. Yeah, I'm picking number one. I have the first pick in the draft, which again, the benefit of that is that I'm picking back to back after that first pick. So I picked that first pick, and a whole lot of people are gonna go. So a lot of receivers
That second,
are gonna
third,
go, and then some of those couple those top three backs are gonna go. So by the time it gets back to me, then okay, although I'm picking two picks, will I go ahead and get receiver and a running back, which is probably what I do. Probably go ahead and do that. And then the big question will be what I do when it comes back to the fourth and fifth pick. So got some decisions to make, but happy that we know our draft order, so we have this time to go ahead and get that right. All right, well, we're gonna go ahead and get on out of here. We've given you our top receivers. We did that last week. Check those out. Those are in 2 different shows. We've given you our top running backs. We did that 30 through 16, and we just gave you 15 through 1. So now you're set. Start to get your strategy together based on where you're going to pick. And then, hey, again, next week we're giving you quarterbacks, we're giving you tight ends, and look out for our special edition show with Clayton's own Gary Clark. We're going to talk to him here in a few. We're going to record with him tomorrow, but you'll see it in a couple of days. So we're excited to talk about his NBA journey and what it takes and kind of how he trains and all that. And he'll have a lot of good insight, especially for the youngsters, the kids out there that's coming up, practicing, kind of, tell you the right way to go about it. All right, are you ready, man? We're going to get into some fun stuff this afternoon. You ready?
Ready, let's go.
All right. We're going to continue doing our thing out here, and we'll be back in North Carolina next week. But check us out then. All right, until then, pick 'em pros.